Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. We have in attendance with us the following city officials.
Mayor Kathy Casabell-Perry.
Good evening.
Safety Service Director Barb Sylvester.
Present.
Auditor Jane Ferraro.
I'm here.
Chief Deputy Auditor Stephanie Myers.
Here.
Law Director Justin Richards.
Here.
Assistant Law Director Edmund Mack.
Here.
Community Development Director Samantha Walters.
Here.
Economic Development Director David Maley.
Here.
Parks and Rec Director Steve Pedro.
Here.
Police Chief Jason St. Noyer.
Present.
Fire Chief Matthew Heck.
Present.
Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides-Goron.
Present.
Chief Building Inspector Frank Silla.
Here.
Health Department Commissioner Terry Argent.
Here.
And Housing Director Beverly Lewis.
Present.
Is there anyone from administration that I missed? That's it, Madam President.
Thank you. Welcome to all. And we have a very large representation from Central Catholic, our future voters. Enjoy the meeting. Councilman Slow. Go on. Under number 5 on the agenda, where anyone can speak on any topic that doesn't appear on tonight's agenda. And then again, under number 17, where the public can speak on any item that did not appear on tonight's agenda. I would like to ask all of you to please turn off your cell phones, mute them, set them to vibrate, so we can control the noise. Roll call.
Kramer.
Present.
Gray.
Here.
Howard Smith.
Here.
Hearn Kane.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Lombardi.
Here.
Sleuth.
Here.
Sneed.
Here.
And Viola. Here. Roll call, 9 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Sleuth.
Will you please join me in standing for the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sleuth. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections to be made?
No, they are not.
Then minutes stand approved as written. We're at number 5 on the agenda, where anyone in the audience can speak on any topic that doesn't appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please come forward, state your name, address, and topic you wish to discuss. And when you're finished, please sign the paper in front of the auditor, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Seeing none, we'll move into new and miscellaneous business. Ordinance number 189, 2022.
Yes, Madam President. It was brought to my attention by the Massillon Law Department dated December 23rd that there was an error in ordinance number 189-2022, whereas the title read that it was 1-year agreements. However, the agreements for the transport in the different municipalities was a 3-year agreement. And by signing this letter, we will state that that has been amended.
So are we still on ordinance number 189, 2022?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 1, 2023.
An ordinance authorizing the auditor to pay various 2022 bills that have been received and that will be received by her office between January 1st, 2023 and March 31st, 2023, out of the 2023 appropriations within the various departments of the city of Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, is there any discussion or questions regarding this ordinance this evening? Seeing none, I make the motion that we waive the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 1-20234 for a vote.
Seconded by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvard Smith,
Yes.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
and Kramer.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Harvard Smith,
Yes.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 1, 2023 is passed. Ordinance number 2, 2023.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1100 General Fund for the purpose of the sidewalk replacement program for the year ending December 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, this is an appropriation of $125,000 for the, I believe this would be year 3 of the sidewalk replacement program. Are there any questions or discussion this evening? Seeing none, I make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 2-20234 for a vote.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call for suspension.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Harvard Smith.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvard Smith,
Yes.
and Kern Kane.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 2, 2023 is passed. Ordinance number 3, 2023.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1221 American Rescue Plan SLFRF Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to call forward the auditor.
Thank you. Mr. Burrow. Thank you.
Madam President, members of council, Happy New Year to all. Yes, sir.
Would you like to give us more details to the content of this ordinance?
Yes, sir. This is all of this ARPA money that I was before you the last time I spoke before you. And I misspoke and told you that the ARPA funds were going to be in the budget. It wasn't new money. That was already money that we had received in our general fund, not the general fund, in the ARPA fund, the 2100 fund. So now what we have to do, since this is not new revenue, it was not in the budget, so now we have to appropriate it to spend it. So I'm asking you to appropriate the $14,566,179 of the ARPA fund money so that we can go forward with the projects that we're planning on doing this year.
Councilman Lewis.
Okay. I'll also point out that if you look on our cash position, the statement of cash position, 1221, you can see the same dollars. You can see what was brought over, you can see all the encumbrances, and you can see our end of now which is slightly higher than this, but that's due to understanding. If there are no other questions, I would be willing to move forward this evening. Seeing none, I make the motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bring ordinance number 3-20234 for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call for suspension.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Sluse,
Yes.
Snead,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvard Smith,
Yes.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 3, 2023 is passed. Ordinance number 4, 2023.
An ordinance reducing the appropriations in the 3105 State Patrol Transfer Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, Madam President. I do have a clarification question, and I would need either the auditor or a representative of her office.
Yes.
So in our ordinance, it is written that the appropriations are hereby reduced in the 3105 State Patrol Transfer Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2023.
Yeah.
2022.
It should be, yes.
I think that's in effect.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe that would amount to a typographical error, and our clerk can't correct it. If anyone has objections.
Councilman Gray.
Thank you, Madam President. No objection. I do have a question. Just briefly, can you tell us the purpose of this fund, State Patrol Transfer Fund?
This is something that's done through the courts, and the courts, they're the ones that deposit the money into this fund, so I couldn't really answer what, where the money's coming from, but it's from their court fees, and then we're just passing it. Half of what they deposit goes to the law library, and then the other half that's left at the end of the year goes into the general fund.
Okay.
And this was just, we budgeted for more than what was actually brought in, so we have to reduce it.
But the title is State Patrol. Is that as in State Highway Patrol?
I would assume, but I don't know specifically what the courts, like,
What
what the purpose of
Okay.
it, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilman Lewis.
If there are no further questions, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing ordinance number 4-20234 for a vote.
Second by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call for suspension.
Sneed,
Yes.
Violen, Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Hernkane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Sluse.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 suspension.
And for passage.
Violen,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Hernkane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
and Sneed.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 4, 2023 has passed. Resolution number 1, 2023.
A resolution authorizing the sale during calendar year 2023 of city-owned motor vehicles and pieces of related equipment which are not needed for public use or are obsolete or unfit for the use for which they were acquired by internet auction and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, we discussed this last week. If there are no further questions, I'd be looking to move forward with this as well. Seeing none, I make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing resolution number 1-20234 for a vote.
Second by Councilman Gray. Roll call for suspension.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Hernkane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
and Viola.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 suspension.
And for passage.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Hernkane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Viola,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 1, 2023 has passed. Madam Clerk, is there any unfinished business?
No, there is not.
Any petitions and general communications?
No, there is not.
Any bills announcing claims?
No, there are not.
We're at number 11 on the agenda, reports from city officials.
We have the treasurer's report for November 2022, and we also have the mayor's state of the city address to city council.
Councilman Lewis? Never mind. I thought we had money in there, no. Mayor, if you'd like to come forward, the floor is yours.
Good evening and Happy New Year, Madam President, members of council. 2023 brought us a year of returning to normal. So we were able to have our parades, our Kids Fest, our concerts. And we were able to get back to some sense of normalcy, which was such a refreshing time for us as going through COVID for the past 2.5 years. Tonight I'm going to share with you some great things that have happened in the past year, and I'm going to share with you some great projects and accomplishments that we've had for 2022. Where should I be pointing this at?
I'm not sure what it's being fed from. Is it on your?
Diane?
Yes, it's on mine.
If you can make it move, that'd be great. It'll be really short if we can't move it.
Here we go.
You got it? I think that's the same picture.
Make sure it's the next slide.
I like to foreshadoww this. What's that? Yeah. And if you can't get it, I can just do with that picture. It's more fun for you. There we go. Perfect. You know what to hit now, Diane? Gotta love technology. We probably had all these kids from Central that could have fixed it like that, right? I'd like to thank the following elected officials: Auditor Jane Ferrero, Treasurer Linda Littman, and Law Director Justin Richard. You go to the next slide. Thank you. President of Council is Claudette Snick. Ward 1, Mark Lombardi. Ward 2, Aaron Violand. Ward 3, Mike Gray. Thank you. Ward 4, Jill Creamer. Ward 5, Julie Harwick-Smith. Ward 6, Mike Snee. And council members at large, Catherine King, Ed Lewis IV, and Judy Sleets. So thank you for working together last year. We've made a great deal of accomplishments and progress. If you could go to the next slide. Those in the back, the directors that are here tonight, I'd like you to stand. You've all done a fantastic job working as a team, and we've really stressed team this year. Building and Zoning Inspector Frank Silla, Lori Katagides Moron, our Budget and Income Tax Director, Jody DeStephanis, Civil Service. Director of Public Service and Safety, Barb Sylvester. Economic Development Director, David Maley. Fire Chief, Matt Heck. Health Department, Terry Argent, our Health Department Commissioner. Housing Department, Beverly Lewis. Operations Street Division, Tom Bergasser, who is on vacation tonight. Parks and Rec Director, Steve Pedro. Police Department Chief, Jason St. Noy. And Wastewater Treatment Department, Tony Ulrich. Could you please give them a round of applause for And I think I missed Community Development Director Samantha Walters, so thank you. Next slide. Okay, great. So as you know, when I took office, this is now my 12th year. Our budget was not balanced. You can see all the years since we took office, it has been balanced and appropriate for fiscal responsibility. Next slide, please. Massillon is financially strong, and I've highlighted the final year. So you can see from 2012 and 13 where we were, and then 2014, we really started turning to the black, which was wonderful, and that was due to everyone working together and pinching every single penny we had in the city that we continue to do today. 2022, as you can see, our cash carryover that's listed there, and that is from 12/28. That is $3,700,000, but the books are not closed out yet, and we are projecting, the auditor's office and my office is projecting approximately a $5 million carryover, which is outstanding, especially when you consider we lost a hospital that had about 700 employees. So we were able to make up for that as well as more than that over the years that the hospital had closed. So I think it's an outstanding number to end with the year. And again, it'll be a couple weeks before we have final numbers, but Jane's office does a fantastic job of getting the books closed out and being accurate. So that is a potential number, and we'll see what it comes out to be exactly when the books are closed. Next slide, please. This is an interesting slide, the General Revenue Fund. For those of you that are council members, you know that the city functions by income tax. Those in the audience that are students that are here may not know that. So we had a bump in our local government funds, and those funds are from the state. We had a little bump, about $26,000 bump there in 2022. About a $300,000 bump with real estate and rollback taxes. Other revenues was about $7 million, and those other revenues include our EMS, they include our building department and other fees that we have throughout the city. And then our income tax, if you take note, we're up about $300,000, and that again is before the books are closed. So excellent numbers for our city. Businesses want to be here in Massillon, and I'll talk soon about the investment that we've had in our city. Next slide, please. Just going to speak directly about our income tax collections. As you can see, in 2022, we're at $16 million. 2021 was $16.1 million. 2020 was $13.3 million, and 2019 was $15 million. So we are at a good number for 2022. And the number there, capital improvement dollars, you can see went up over the years. This year, we're changing the split even further. And so next year, that number will grow again for capital improvements. And those dollars are the dollars that we can use for projects. And so that's why that number is important to continue that spread of our capital improvement dollars versus general fund. The street department brought in $2.3 million, and that's for that 0.2% income tax. So that's a really good number. We're able to keep up with our fleet, and we're also able to keep up with paving our roads and adding additional pavement versus the bid out paving of the streets. Park and Rec brought in $3,497,000, and their general fund is at $16,438. Next slide, please. 2022 stabilization fund, if you can remember, I think we started about $300,000 and we're now at $480,000. That's in our stabilization fund. That is, some people want to term it a rainy day fund. This is not a rainy day fund. This is a fund where we have money that we can rely on when we have some kind of a crisis in the city. So I don't consider it a rainy day fund. What I like to see is a 15 to 20% carryover, and that's about $3 to $4 million. And as our income tax grows, that $3 to $4 million will also grow in the future. We are at a 93%, 7% split. Our goal is to get to 90-10. And we're very close to getting there, so that's exciting. The more money we put away, the more projects we can have money to add to. Most projects that we do have to have a 20 to 25% match. And so that's what those dollars are for, so that we can apply for grants, apply for dollars for street funds, and then have the matching piece with it. The budget is balanced and realistic, and that is really important to a mayor and to the budget director, income tax, as well as the city auditor. Infrastructure is being addressed, and I'll go into further detail as we go forward. This is the ARPA funding. Most of these projects that you see here are in design. It's really been exciting to get them to that phase. So we go out for qualifications first, then we come to council to go out to bid for design, and then they go into design, and then we can go into construction. So it's really exciting to get to that point. And the top, all the way down to City Hall HVAC are in design. Next, you'll see the health department. The health department, congratulations, Terry, closed today. So we now own the building. They're going to have some slight renovations done, carpeting and paint, and a little renovation of the desk so that there is some safety there. And that will all be done very soon. And then January the 26th, they will start to function out of the health department on Erie Avenue. So great job by everybody involved with that. The fire department and police department renovations, they are working on those as we speak in design with the architect. And the park improvements, we're working on the park improvements. As you can see, we're going to be doing the tennis courts in 2023. And Steve gave me a little update, so thank you, Steve. We're putting new playground systems in L.C. Jones Park, Walnut Hills Park, and Franklin Park, and the removal of the old ones, and this is all spring of 2023. So these are the ARPA dollars that we gave to council as well gave to the park and rec to improve our park system. Spring of 2023 will also see tennis court overlays for Wampler and Franklin. The walking path and pavilion at L.C. Jones Park has been completed. The skating rink and resurfacing at Wampler Park pickleball courts is spring of 2023. The added restroom into Oak Knoll Pavilion, they are just waiting on the contractor, and refurbish and paint existing restroom at Shriver has been completed, and construction of a restroom facility at L.C. Jones Park is scheduled for spring of 2023. And I may add that the ice skating rink is up and functioning, and Steve has reported to me that we've had 100 skaters per day, except for last Friday, we had 147 skaters that day. So it's been overwhelmingly positively received, which is very exciting for the city to see that Fresh Marks donation has gone to great use. The Massillon Community Improvement Corporation, now that you've transferred those dollars tonight into that account, we'll be able to utilize that. And those dollars for the CIC is to help with projects downtown. Animal control, they spent about $4,915, and they partnered with 3 different groups for neutering and spaying, and they partnered with Alter Tails, Positive Paws, and Barb Vets. So it's been a great relationship. They said there's going to be more and more activity with those dollars, and we remember we put $100,000 there to help with animal control. Residential assistance, that is $50,000, and that project is coming to you very soon. David is working on that, and that project is going to be a project where if you want to do something to the outside of your home, you can earn a certain percentage that the city will pay for. So if you're low to moderate income, it'll be $4,000. If you're just a regular income, higher than moderate, it will be $2,000. So anyone in the city will be able to utilize this program, and that will be forthcoming. The business assistance program, we have partnered with Stark Minority, and they have the dollars, and they're working on funding that now. And then, of course, Habitat for Humanity has already been paid. And that was for staff from Massillon, young people from Massillon, to work with Habitat for Humanity, which is a great program. The police department, lots going on in the police department. Massillon PD officer was added to Stark County Regional SWAT teams. We have an additional officer on SWAT. They participated in the Drug Take Back Day, added a new school resource officer to the elementary schools, and 3 newly certified field training officers. And a field training officer is an officer who, when we get a new police officer, they are with that officer for 12 weeks. And they're training them, and then they'll rotate to the next officer. So each person gets about 3 to 4 weeks with their field training officer. So they get different perspectives of police work. Personnel changes. We had the biggest shakeup that I've ever seen in our city as far as retirements. And we had 6 ranking officers retire in good standing. I don't know that that's ever happened before in our city. We promoted 10 officers this past year, which include chief of police, captain, 4 lieutenants, and 4 sergeants. We currently are funding OPATA training, meaning the city is paying for our candidates to go to training, and that's a really important piece. And those officers spoke so highly of Massillon that we even garnered more people to join our force, so that was very positive. We hired 8 new patrol officers and continue hiring the upcoming year. Today, I swore in 4 officers that were going to training, so they start January 9th and will graduate in May. We appointed a new detective who specializes in child abuse and sex crimes and had a really big project that she worked on in Mahoning County, and was able to capture this gentleman soliciting minors. Go ahead to the slide. Thank you. Continuing with the police department, they continued to participate in Trunk or Treat and other events throughout the city. They had an integral role in Cops for Kids event again this year. They also helped to establish and maintain our safe parade routes and road closures several times a year. Even our new chief was out there this year. I caught him by my eye going by the parade, and he was out there working with everyone else as a team. MPD has an active role in the schools with 3 SROs, and they provide security for all home football games and other events. Training is very important and crucial to having excellent police officers. Every police officer completed over 24 hours of state-mandated continued professional training and increased the CIT, crisis intervention training for our officers. Our fire department was very active, and our chief has been there, I'm going to say 1.5 years now. Is that about right, chief? Maybe a little longer? Okay. We had a new ladder, a quench truck that came into service on April the 1st. It was on back order, but it finally arrived. Our cost was $850,000, and we paid cash for that. We replaced the 1998 ladder and removed it from service in 2018. So it took a while to get that quit because it was a high number, almost $1 million for that. And that quit has been assigned to Central Fire Station 1. We added 1 fire inspector investigator to the Fire Bureau, and the goal is safety for everyone. 320 inspections were completed in 2022 compared to 204 in 2021, which is over 100 inspections more. We also accept lateral transfer applications at this time, which we've not done before. We wanted to congratulate Fire Inspector Tammy Wagner. She received the Dave DeMio Award recognizing her dedication and work in the Fire Prevention Bureau. It was a really wonderful breakfast, and she was the only one that received that award that day. We also have a life safety trailer taken to all elementaries, and so it really teaches them skills about when there's a fire or some occurrence, how to react to that. So that was outstanding to be able to allow them to go through the assimilation. And the number of fire extinguisher trainings provided throughout the city have also increased. So not only our staff knows how to use fire extinguishers, but they've trained others. Next slide, please. EMS transport, $11,145,000 in revenue since 2010. We do, the soft billing has saved residents, or in other words, patients, $2,152,000 in deductibles and co-insurance. So this is an added benefit that our residents get for living in the city. And not only do they get that benefit, but our firefighters and paramedics are outstanding. If you've ever had to call them, they do an amazing job. 6 out of the last 7 ambulances purchased through the EMS capital account, funded by a percentage of the EMS transport revenue. I think we're still at 10% for EMS, this revenue that we put the money away for. But that's strictly for our ambulances in the city, and we're able to continue to provide those and keep them up to date. Next slide, please. This is something I always get a kick out of, is looking at how many homes were built in the city. And in 2022, 50 new single-family dwellings were built in the city of Massillon. To give you an idea of what the other years were, 2017 was 28 homes and 10 condominiums, 1 multifamily, which is apartments. 2018, 53 homes. 2019, 35 homes and 4 condominiums. So 50 homes is a great large number for the city of Massillon. And this is the subdivisions that they're being built in, which I went over with council prior. Investment in Massillon. This is another key indicator of how a city is doing that I always look for. And if you look at 2022, for commercial, we're at 14 million, industrial, 14 million, other 2 million, that's fences, garages, things like that, and residential, 20 million. So that is a huge number for our community. And I thought, yes, I did total it. $52 million investment in the city of Massillon. That is huge for our city. So people want to move here, people want to live here, play here, and have their business here. That is an outstanding scenario. Economic development. I'm not going to go through all of these for economic development, but these are different businesses that have come into the city. Some of these businesses have been replaced by others, so but this is there's 2 slides on that, Diane, so if you want to go to the next slide. But just a great, people would like to have their business here, and many of the businesses are expanding, so that's very exciting. Road improvements. This is also a number, when you go down to 2012 to 2015, at the very bottom, you can see for 3 years, we were only able to pay $660,000 worth of road paving. Then in 16, we're at $1.4 million, 17, $1.2 million, 18, $1.9 million, 19 was $5.3 million, 20, $2.9 million, 21, $3.4 million, and 22, $3,100,000 for a total from 12 to 22, $20 million of road paving. And if you go to the next slide, I think you'll be able to see a map. So in the black, this is from 2012 to 2016. Very few roads were paved because the city of Massillon didn't have funds. If you go to the next slide. In the red is what we paved this year, and the black is what we've been able to pave so far. And some of these roads, Mr. Lombardi, some roads in your ward are very, very long and very costly. And so those roads were able to be paved this year. So really exciting to be able to do that because they waited for quite a while. Okay, this was the resurfacing contract, and the reason I put this slide up is I wanted you to see that when the engineering department goes out and they look at and grade all the roads, they're looking to try to equalize this for all the wards. Now that's a difficult job to do, but they've done a great job on trying to, put so many in Ward 1, so many in Ward 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, as we have 6 wards in the city. So I just wanted to let you see that. That is the paving. Next is catch basins. Catch basins were a big problem. We had metal plates, if you recall, probably on every street. Every street you drove on, we had a metal plate. Well, today and last year and the year before, that's not the case. Those are mostly gone. Start at the bottom again in 2012, 609,000, 16, 435,000, 500,000 in 17, 18, 555,000, 19, 465, 20, 661, 21, 460, and 22, $720,400 in repairs and replacement for catch basins. And they're lasting longer. That we've changed our process, they're lasting longer, and they aren't caving in as they did with the brick and mortar. So it's been exciting to do catch basins. I want to see if any of those seniors are back there smiling about catch basins, how exciting that is. Okay, the street department. We purchased a new street sweeper, a new dump truck, established specific mowing routes for efficiency, repaired guardrails and 3 attenuators, completed 29 paving patch projects. That's probably the most I've seen from our street department, really going after it out there to try to help with our paving project. And we graded or gravelled 61 alleys. The alleys have not been touched in the city for years, and so we were able to address those this year. We reworked the salt containment area to store 3,000 tons, which doubled our capacity. We inventoried the guardrails and attenuators because when they get damaged, we need to get the insurance information so we can have them paid for it. So we're doing a better job with efficiencies on the inventory guardrails and attenuators. Attenuators, believe it or not, are very expensive to put back out. We improved the yard waste collection facility, facilitated the sale of 42 items on GovDeals. And some people said, oh, no one's going to want that. Well, we put it on GovDeals and they purchased it. So it was a great idea. Completed 400 plus road sign projects. I'm going to say that again, that's a lot of road sign projects, 400. Provided traffic signal improvements and efficiencies throughout the city, utilized personnel for maintenance of downtown, and hired a lead worker position. The safety department is a department right beside the street department. They installed new LED traffic signals at Erie and 21 ramps. They upgraded pedestrian crossing signals to countdown LED signals at Tommy, which the countdown is where they actually count down, so someone that's blind can get across the street, or anyone that needs assistance and timing to get across the street. Henrik and Lillian Gish and Lincoln Way West, they were installed as well. We replaced traffic wiring and upgraded traffic signals to LED on First and Federal. We upgraded LED lighting to Fire Station 1 and 2 main bay areas, and this saves our city on electricity. Upgraded all exit and egress lighting to LED at City Hall. The wastewater treatment plant is a quiet department, but a very important department. They had 10 manhole bottom repair and 1 manhole rehab in 2022 to the cost of $15,000. 20 Mr. manholes completed throughout the city at the cost of $22,000. Replacement of solid truck bay roof at total cost of $49,000. We're going to go over to engineering, and I am not going to go through every single one of these, but I will say there's 2 large sheets of these, and I'll show you both sheets. It's fully filled, and the engineering department has been extremely busy this year, as most of our departments, but usually they have to initiate the process to go out to bid, and so that is one of the reasons why they're very busy. But they also meet with the safety and service director weekly, as well as Tony Ulrich does from wastewater, as well as code enforcement. So there's constant communication between everyone. The neighborhood capital repair list, and again, these are all projects in neighborhoods. There are actually 3 sheets on that, and again, I'm not going to go through all of those. If you want to just go through the 3 slides, but lots of work being done. Sinkholes in the city, catch basin repairs, storm repairs, a pipe collapse. I mean, lots and lots of work throughout the city for the neighborhoods. Community development has been very busy. We demolished 2 blighted collapsed residential buildings within the city of Massillon. 11 city homeowners received funding for emergency minor repairs for their homes, helping to benefit the homeowners' health, welfare, and betterment of the city's neighborhoods. These projects included new roofs, furnaces, plumbing and electrical repairs, and handicap accessibility projects. 3 first-time homebuyers received funding assistance to purchase their home in the city of Massillon. The same homeowners were also allotted funding to do repairs to their new homes, ensuring they would meet building code and have a safe home. 2 homeowners received assistance for full rehab projects provided by the city's housing rehabilitation program. 2 new housing construction projects were completed by Habitat for Humanity utilizing home funding, and community development also assisted with Tidy Up Tigertown. And that project, as you know, we have Impact Massillon, which does a specific area. Tidy Up Tigertown, I wanted to take this project fully to the entire city. So this group of young people, I'm going to say they're between 18 and 25, joined together, and I'll show you a picture here. I think we have a photo of them. And they really went out just to everywhere around the city asking if neighbors needed any help with cleanup. So that's the beginning of that Tidy Up Tigertown program. It's on the same day as Impact Massillon, so it was paired together to make more of an impact. They participated in Fun Fest, Pause for Your Health, and awarded approximately $7,000 in Housing Market Reinvestment Program, which is HMRP grants, to eligible homeowners who purchased homes in the city's target area or a home that was previously foreclosed on. These are the recipients from our CDBG funds that you all voted on to give them funds from our CDBG program. Code enforcement, really busy department also. The commercial building safety program working well with an average of 2 to 3 inspections or follow-up inspections a week. Owners of new businesses are also receiving their occupancy permits as violations are corrected. So if a new business has violations, they will not receive an occupancy permit until their violations are corrected. Code enforcement assessed to taxes $52,000 in grass mowing, assessed $6,232 in nuisance assessments, trash or garbage cleanups, and $13,000 in demolition costs at 1630 Tremont Avenue. Okay, as I said, we're going to get to the health department. They closed on the building today. The address is 611 Erie Street South, and they will be open for business on January 26th. Important work that they do, 703 inspections were made in 2022 for food service, pools, school body art, smoking, vector control, and nuisances. 17 food service facilities submitted plans for review. 86 people participated in the Safe Food Handling Education course, which is a good number from what we've had in the past. Administered 2,781 vaccines, 1,748 of those were COVID-19 vaccinations. They distributed 30 Narcan kits. They distributed 15 infant and 25 adult anytime CPR kits through American Heart Association. And if you were watching the football game last night, you can see how important CPR is in knowing it. They saved that gentleman's life. Vital Statistics issued 2,900 birth certificates and death certificates. They also participated in community events, and they also partnered with Massillon to distribute resources and information on the OB mobile locations during the summer. They also attended an overdose awareness day at Pedros Park with Conquest, I believe, and they partnered with Massillon into the Light Project to distribute Narcan kits and harm reduction resources. The health department is nationally accredited, and we're very proud of that. They did this through COVID with over 400 documents. I think I've shared that number with you before, how many documents they had to have to become accredited. So they've done a fantastic job. And they have to continue to be certified and stay up on their papers and their processes, and they're doing that as we speak. Civil service administered 15 entrance exams, 6 promotional exams, and created 2 exams. We hired 29 people through civil service, and that includes schools from last year, 11 promotions in the police department. They adopted their civil service regulations and classification plan. They opened in conjunction with the city, they opened the APATA training for police officers that we actually pay for the training, and created fitness testing and administered testing for all non-APATA candidates. They attended 2 job fairs, schools, veterans, and social media presence. I went through Park and Rec a little bit, so I don't know that I'm going to spend a lot of time here, but they're very, very busy. One of the main factors in 2022 is that Steve was able to get that kiddie pool open. That was a huge accomplishment because once they started to work on it, they found more and more problems. So it took a while to get that reopened, but it was a huge accomplishment. It's back in order. I think everybody's happy about that. They celebrated 20 years since the opening, and painting was completed throughout the rec center when they went on break. There's their vacation time. The Legends of Massillon was once again awarded Best of the Best Golf Courses in Stark County by the Camp Repository. They've been working on golf cart paths. They had 57,000 rounds of golf in 2022. That's a lot of rounds of golf. Parking lot repaving was started, and they'll continue to do that. And those of you that golf, and the bunkers have been being replaced in stages. So they're continuing to do the bunkers at the course. The senior center has increased to 127 activity club members. They have grown steadily. They still work with nursing homes, and they provide meals and services to all members and walk-ins. We're going to switch to sidewalk repair. This is a program we started a couple years ago. This will be the 3rd year that we put the funds in the program, and has been very successful. And one of the reasons why it's been so successful is because we no longer make the resident pay the full amount and reimburse them. The city actually pays our share, and the resident pays their share. And they pay their share once the project has been approved and completed. So it's been very successful. The average match, though, we give up to $4,000 towards a project. So if the project's 8, we can give up to 4. And but the average match was $1,821 per property. Massillon Levee Erosion Repair Project was a $22.5 million project, and Representative or Congressman Bob Gibbs was instrumental in helping us get these dollars, and he no longer is serving, I don't believe, so we thank him for his service and for helping us with these funds. The purpose was we needed to stabilize the geometry of the channel and the levee and really stabilize that erosion. And so that's what they've been doing, and sometime this summer, the project will be complete, and we'll be getting the walking bike path back open. You've seen this slide before, but I want to say it again. If you don't have Nixle, it's an integral piece to have for emergencies in the city. It's, you put 888, 777 in the text box, that's your number, and you put Massillon in the communication box, and you hit send, and you are connected directly to the city. That's why I keep this slide on here, as well as our city website is accessible to individuals with disabilities, and letting people know what sites we're on, and that we do have a TV show. And in your sewer bill, take time to open that sewer bill, because inside is Massillon Matters. And we give little tips throughout the year, every quarter, of things that are happening in Massillon, what maybe the hours of our garage opening, maybe the sidewalk program's in there, but we give little tips throughout the year, letting you know what's going on. Or maybe we'll put in, did you know your garbage can should be removed after 24 hours? Those are tips that we try to give our residents in that Massillon Matters. Massillon is a Purple Heart city. The Purple Heart is an American decoration of the oldest military decoration in the world in present use, and the first American award made available to the common soldier. It was initially created as the badge of military merit by one of the world's most famed and best-loved hero, General George Washington. And we dedicated this on August the 7th, 2014. A Blue Star dedication was July 26, 2015. A Gold Star Memorial dedication was September 25th, 2016. And then Kathy Edlick and her husband Randy brought Flags of Honor in July of 2015 and again in 17. And Kathy has since passed, and Flags of Honor is no more. So we really appreciate her dedication, and Judy Fiddler and Joan Walsh for bringing me the idea of the Purple Heart City. This slide, as you can see, we love our veterans in Massillon. They provide protection and service to our country, and we want to honor them. And this is Major General Robert D. Haas, who is still living in Massillon, comes to things that he can come to, but we created a banner program. The banner program, if the service member cannot afford it, our patriotic committee with Terry Rome will find the $75 to make sure that it happens, so we can thank our veterans. And these are displayed over Memorial Day for those that are deceased. And then 2 weeks later, we put them up for 4th of July, and that's everyone, active member, someone that's retired, or someone that has passed away, will be displayed, and then again on Veterans Day. So hats off to our veterans. The Parade of Homes came back for a second year in a row, from October 15th to the 23rd. They're still building more homes, so it's very exciting. We really appreciate the Building Industry Association and Scott for bringing it back again this year. And this next picture is just a lovely picture of our town at night, and this was given to me by a resident. But I just wanted to share that. It's one of my favorite pictures that we have. As I said earlier, has been a huge success, and depending on the weather, it'll probably, that's the biggest question I get now is how long is it going to stay open? Through February, but if it snows more in March, which sometimes it does, we'll revisit that and see how long we'll keep it open. But right now, it's been a huge success, and the skates, there's no charge for the skates. So you can come, get your skates, and go skate, and it's just been a huge success. And we appreciate Steve and his staff really moving it to get it open, so the kids that were on break from Christmas break were able to get out there and skate. And so this is just a picture of the ribbon cutting. And thank you to the Massillon Boys and Girls Club. We had one family come over of 3 to skate, and the Massillon Boys and Girls Club brought a van over of kids to skate, and they loved it. This is what's to come, Memorial Splash Park for Jake Roberson. And so that will be forthcoming. Hopefully, we'll get it constructed this year. That's our plan. And for our final slide tonight, I wanted to, I like to give you a quote of different people. Once I used Tony Townsend, Donnie Peters, he was a council member and passed away. I've used different people for a quote of what they see in Massillon, so I'll read it to you. We have all been witness to the economic development and infrastructure improvements occurring in Massillon over the last few years. Congratulations to Mayor Kevin Perry and the whole Massillon team for your leadership and for working so collaboratively with all our economic development partners, the Stark Economic Development Board, the Stark Board of Trade, and many others to continue moving Massillon forward. And that's from County Commissioner Richard Gregula. So thank you for paying attention tonight and viewing the state of the city. I hope you feel great about the position of our city. I'm excited as to where we are. Everyone has worked really hard and worked together. And we have a lot to be excited about for 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That was very informative. Massillon, City of Massillon has done wonderful things. All right, reports of committees. Our next work session will be Tuesday, January 17th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Councilman Gray?
I'd just like to mention I will not be at next week's work session.
Okay. Resolutions and requests from council members. Call the calendar, nothing.
Madam President, I just want to clarify that work session is the 9th, next council is the 17th.
What I say, reports of committees, our next work session.
You said the work session was the 17th.
Yes, you're right. Next council meeting. And at the next work session, on the 9th, there will be public hearings at 5:30.
So Mr. Gregg, you'll be out the 9th?
That's correct. I'm out the next 3 days.
Greg Galveston. Third reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 173, 2022.
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Massillon, Ohio by rezoning certain property from RM-1 multiple family residential to B-3 general business.
Councilman Kramer.
Thank you, Madam President. The purpose of this rezoning is to allow for the operation of a full-service bank. We did hear from a representative from Consumer National Bank a few weeks ago regarding this request. There are 2 parcels. Both parcels are located on Lincoln Way East regarding this zone request. And are there any other questions from council? Seeing none, public hearing will be scheduled January 9th at 5:30 p.m. And I would like to make a motion to table ordinance 173-2022 until January 17th.
Second by Councilman Lewis. Roll call to table ordinance number 173, 2022.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Kern King,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Slutes,
Yes.
Snee,
Yes.
Violen,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
9 yes to table ordinance number 173-2022
Thank you.
until January 17th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 173, 2022 has been tabled. Ordinance number 174, 2022.
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Massillon, Ohio by rezoning certain property from RM-1 multiple family residential to B-3 general business district.
Councilwoman Kramer.
Thank you, Madam President. This request, the purpose of the rezoning is to allow for motor fuel retail convenience. We did hear from a representative from Echo. They're requesting to put a cafe and marketplace in that location. There are 6 parcels included in this request, and all 6 parcels are located on Lincoln Way East. There's a public hearing scheduled for January 9th at 5:30 p.m. here in council chambers. Are there any questions from any council members at this time? Seeing none, I make a motion to table ordinance number 174-2022 until January 17th, 2023.
Second by Councilman Lewis. Roll call to table ordinance number 174-2022.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sloots,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Violand,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Harvard Smith.
Yes.
9 yes to table ordinance number 174-2022 until January 17th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 174-2022 has been tabled. Ordinance number 175-2022.
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Massillon, Ohio by rezoning certain property from 0-1 office to R-1 one-family residential.
Councilman Kramer.
Thank you, Madam President. The purpose of this rezoning is to allow for a new residential construction. We heard from a representative from Habitat for Humanity. That is the intent of this zone request. One parcel is included, and it is located on First Street Northeast. Are there any questions from any council members? There's a public hearing scheduled for January 9th at 5:30 p.m. here in council chambers. And I would like to make a motion to table ordinance number 175-2022 until January 17th.
Second by Councilman Lewis. Roll call to table ordinance number 175-2022.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sloots,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Violand,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvard Smith,
Yes.
and Kern Kane.
Yes.
9 yes to table ordinance number 175-2022 until January 17th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 175-2022 has been tabled. Ordinance number 176-2022.
An ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Massillon, Ohio by rezoning certain property from R-3 one-family residential to B-3 general business district.
Councilman Kramer.
Thank you, Madam President. The purpose of this rezoning request is to allow for commercial development. We do not have any specifics regarding that, but we did hear from St. John Church representative a few weeks back at our work session regarding this zone request. There are 2 parcels included that are located at 1900 Wales Road Northeast. Are there any questions regarding this zone request? Seeing none, a public hearing has been scheduled for January 30th at 5:30 p.m. here in council chambers. And I would like to make a motion to table ordinance 176-2022 until February 6th, 2023.
Until when, I'm sorry, February?
February 6th.
February 6th, thank you. Second by Councilman Lewis. Roll call to table ordinance number 176-2022.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sloots,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Violand,
Yes.
Kramer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harvard Smith,
Yes.
Kern Kane,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes to table ordinance number 176-2022 until February the 6th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 176-2022 has been tabled. Ordinance number 177-2022.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio to enter into an agreement with Cyrus Osler to provide an economic development inducement grant to fund startup costs, including build-out, equipment, etc., for Grove Mental Health and Wellness located at 141 First Street Northeast, Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Hurricane.
Thank you, Madam President. The Economic Development Director has requested additional time on this. Therefore, I make a motion that we table ordinance number 177-2022 until January the 17th, 2023.
Seconded by Howard Smith, Councilman Howard Smith. Roll call to table Ordinance number 177, 2022 until 117, 2023.
Sluse,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Violand,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Kern King,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Lombardi.
Yes.
9 yes to table ordinance number 177-2022 until January 17, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 177, 2022 has been tabled. Ordinance number 184, 2022.
An ordinance making certain appropriations for the unappropriated balance of the 1100 general fund for the year ending December 31st, 2022, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, I think I'll be following the theme of third reading tonight. I will be asking that we table this for further discussion. I think there's a lot more information that, any questions some of us still have, and some open discussion that we want to have. And tonight, if anyone wants to make comments, obviously we're more than welcome to do so, but I do want to make sure that we put on the record and let it be said that I am certain that every one of the members of council here are concerned about the safety and the well-being of the citizens of Massillon and our safety forces or first responders that find themselves in a situation where they have to respond to a building that is deemed not necessarily up to safety codes. With that being said, though, that this particular property that was being brought in front of us was being brought to us with a proposal that did not follow standard protocols of the city, and that is what is causing this hesitation of this council. It's not the desire or the need for this to be remedied, but it was a process that was not mirrored with every other business or property owner in the city in the past. And we are looking for fairness and justice for all people, and then make sure we do our due diligence and are good steward of the tax dollars that we are trusted with. So I just want to make sure we're all on that same page, that in no way are we trying to delay this and not having the concern of the health and safety of our citizens at mind. With that said, I only desire to make a motion to table, but I will pause for a moment unless in case another council member would like to add the comments or questions.
Councilman Lewis.
I see none. I make a motion that we table ordinance number 84-2022 until January 17th of 2023.
Second by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call to table ordinance number 184, 2022.
Sneed,
Yes.
Violand,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
No.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Kern King,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
and Sluse.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no to table ordinance number 184-2022 until January 17, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 184, 2022 has been tabled. There are no second reading ordinances and resolutions. Item number 17 on the agenda. For anyone from the audience can come forward and speak on any topic that did not appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address, and topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Seeing none, Councilman Sluse,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
seconded by Councilwoman Kramer. Roll call.
Violand,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Howard Smith,
Yes.
Kern King,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Lombardi,
Yes.
Sluse,
Yes.
and Sneed.
Yes.
9 yes to adjourn.
Before I adjourn, if council members would please make themselves available